Yo dudes, B-Man, Verdicks. I'm here tonight with Nick. Today we're going to talk about conducting your own personal performance reviews. Essentially what this means to me is taking stock of yourself and making sure that you're keeping yourself in check, living up to your responsibilities, and making sure that your inner voice is saying the right things to yourself. Nick, kind of in line with what you think?
Yeah. So you know, if you sit back and think about it, like we all have a boss at work, but that's just your boss for like your job responsibilities. Like you are your own boss of life. And if you were to take stock and do like an annual performance review on yourself, are you treating yourself the way you would want a boss to treat you? Are you talking to yourself the right way? Like, what's your inner monologue look like? Are you investing in yourself? Like, if you're at work and you're just, messing around, Googling and YouTube and stuff like that, are you doing that at home as well? Like, when you could be spending time with your family or picking up a skill set or taking care of that to-do list that you've had for weeks, like, how are you? It's just a great exercise to kind of take a good long hard look in the mirror and be like, man, if I realize I'm my own boss, would I want to work for me?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. I think what underlies it is that you create you. So which you do you want to create? Do you want to be the guy who's downtrodden, who's beat up, who doesn't have any motivation, who doesn't take care of his priorities, his responsibilities? Or do you want to work with or create the guy who's on top of his game and who has a positive outlook and who brings people up around him? And I think that that's what we've been trying to do with Verdicts.
Yeah.
In my personal performance review, sure, there's a lot of areas that I would like to improve. I could create a better me, but I'm also worried about creating better everyone else's while I go.
Yeah.
um, so you can get a raise basically if you
Yeah.
work hard on yourself. You can raise yourself to the next level, or you can get a demerit if you continue to fail in your personal performance review. So just keeping yourself in check, checking in from time to time, having a third party from the outside, having a buddy or someone you love, just check in from time to time, make sure you're staying on the path. All those things help.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is like, if you don't like yourself and who you are, then it's basically a recipe for disaster for the rest of your life. You have to be okay with yourself, your character, and who you are and what you represent, and where your life is going, to kind of have everything else that everyone else wants in life to kind of fall in line. And like you said, the good news is that just like a job, if you don't like the boss or if you don't like the company that you work for, you can always look for another job or another way out, right? So it's not like you're stuck in this never ending loop. Just by simply performing the exercise and thinking about it, the easiest solution is like, okay, well, there's these three things that I like about, myself. And then there's these three things I don't like about myself, that I wouldn't, if I was grading myself, I would sit myself down and say, you got to change X, Y, and Z, to perform better. And simple fact of the matter is once you identify those things, you're halfway towards like the plan of changing them. And then all you have to do is really execute. So it's a simple exercise, but super impactful. And, I think it's often overlooked. We kind of just get lost in the minutia of your day to day and don't check in with ourselves and find ourselves, constantly trying to tread water, like keep our head above all the responsibilities that life throws at us. That you could probably do this in 5 minutes and have a good idea of where you stand with yourself and if you're on track to who you want to be and where you want to go. So
Yeah. The
recommend it.
last thing I would add to that is to make sure you're comparing yourself to yourself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? It's very easy to compare yourself to people on Instagram, Twitter, the rest of the world. Compare yourself to where you were a couple minutes ago, an hour ago, a day ago. Make sure you're comparing you to you and try to do better. That's pretty much it for conducting your own personal performance review. That's it. Just stay on top of yourself, check in with yourself, and be good to yourself. That's the only advice I have.
All I can say is shields up, boys.
Shields up, definitely. If you want more of this, there's a piece on verdicks.com, builds upon what we're talking about here a little bit more. We're doing more videos like this, so check back in, give us a subscribe and a like, and tell a friend about it. We could use a couple more followers, and we'd really appreciate if you would join the team. So shields up.
All rise. The well-hung jury is now